As long as you can evoke someone's sense of shame, you can manipulate them like a puppet on strings. Because among all emotions, shame and guilt have the lowest energy, so low they're practically lifeless. Today, let me tell you how others use shame to control you. Do you ever feel like you'd be sorry if a waiter brought you a few extra dishes to try? Did getting into a good university hurt the most because you felt sorry for your parents? Your friends always ask you to bring them lunch, but you're afraid of being called stingy and feel awkward asking them to transfer the money. Your girlfriend scrolls through social media and says other people's boyfriends often give expensive gifts, and you keep your head down, not daring to look her in the eye. Your boss asks you to work overtime for free every day, saying it's a blessing for young people to work more, but you don't dare refuse, afraid of being called lazy, ungrateful, or incapable of hard work. You need to control your sense of shame. Otherwise, others will use it to judge you, manipulate you, and turn you into a docile creature, someone who's afraid to bother others, who always puts others' needs first, and who despises their own efforts and value. I recommend using the following 5 top-level thinking strategies to eliminate shame. Day 42 of strengthening your mindset. 1. Shame can steal your life. Shame not only leads to irrational perfectionism, but also distorts your understanding of how the world actually works. It makes you unaware of value exchange, ashamed to talk about money, afraid to compete for profit, and even disgusted with your own appearance. For example, you might feel embarrassed to profit from a price difference in business, thinking it's greedy, while ignoring your own effort and contribution. Or if there's a promotion and a raise that anyone could go for, you might mistake it for selfishness, or think how embarrassing it would be if you made a mistake. When you see a beautiful woman, you might feel inferior, acting timid and nervous, thinking you look foolish or out of place. You see, shame shows up at every critical turning point in your life. If you don't realize that everyone makes mistakes, everyone feels embarrassed, everyone is selfish, and everyone has moral flaws, then you'll make choices today that will hurt your future. Shame is the result of conditioning. Our families, movies, and TV shows constantly tell us what we should be like, trying to mold us into people who are honest, obedient, and never cause trouble. But these rules are often rigid, hypocritical, and don't hold up in real life. When you were young, you couldn't tell what was reasonable and what wasn't. You simply internalized those voices as your own standards for self-worth. If you didn't score an 80 on a test, your parents might say, "Your grades are terrible, and you still dare to go out and play?" If you argued with a female classmate, and it was clearly her fault, the teacher might say, "She's a girl, you should let it go." Movies and shows tell us that those who endure the most hardships are the best. Men should be broad-minded. Women should be beautiful. Later, you might get humiliated by a client for no reason, and you still force a smile, thinking it must be my fault. You become submissive, like a dog waiting for approval, because you were disciplined too harshly, never allowed to be yourself. 2. Every exchange of shame benefits someone. When you feel shame, ask yourself who's gaining from it. As a child, you felt ashamed of wanting a chicken drumstick, so your parents avoided the embarrassment of not being able to afford it. As an adult, and you feel unworthy of a raise or promotion, so your boss avoids the guilt of underpaying you. You see, the things that should have been shameful for others were cleverly transferred onto you, and your innocent, well-meaning self accepted them. They only need to plant a seed of shame in your mind to reap the fruit they want. 3. Don't try to be a good person. Be a strong person. Don't care about people's evaluations. or the negative labels they give you. They're all based on their own level of understanding, and often for personal gain. Shame isn't just an emotion anymore. It's a tool others use to manipulate you, for profit or control. They judge you, label you, and once you fall into their trap, you give up resistance and surrender your power. You're so timid, yet you still think the problem is you. For example, you don't dare ask your friend to pay you back for meals because you're afraid of being called stingy. But who defines those labels? It's the people who want to take advantage of you. They disguise your loss as generosity and their selfishness as your fault. And because you're afraid of shame, you even help them cover their lies and blame yourself. Now you understand, don't you? To protect yourself, you must be strong. Don't give others the right to judge or hurt you. True strength means allowing yourself to be imperfect, to have flaws, and to fight for your own interests. 4. Shame can also be a bargaining chip. If used wisely, it can help people grow in a positive direction. And if the right environment doesn't exist, you can create it. For example, showing a little humility makes others see you as non-threatening. And powerful people are more willing to help those who pose no threat. If you compliment someone publicly, they'll gladly accept it and feel good. Then when you make a request later, if they can't fulfill it, they'll feel guilty and more likely to give in. Take the example of someone who often asks you to bring them food but never pays you back. You're afraid of being called stingy, so you let it slide. Instead, guide them. Tell everyone he's honest, trustworthy, and values credibility. Once he gets carried away by that praise, that's your chance. Finally, as long as you don't feel ashamed, no one can truly judge you. And as long as you don't feel inferior, you won't bow down to anyone's excessive demands.